Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Matty J Plays, and today I'm going to give you a quick hints and tips / tutorial on my player and skills. It's a part of the game that's new this year in 2K23. It's also a part of the game that can be confusing and can be costly if you put your skill points in the wrong places, and I'll come on to that. But let's first of all give you a brief overview of skills, how you get the skill points, how you put them on, and how you keep leveling up through the columns. So when you start the game and you come into the skills screen, you will be level 1 and you will have 1 skill point. Every time you level up in the game, you receive a skill point. So at level 2 you should have 2 skill points. At level 10 you should have 10 skill points to spend. At level 20 you'll have 20. You can see I'm level 46. If you look at the top right, I have spent 41 skill points and have 5 remaining to spend. So I have 5 skill points unspent just yet, and that equates to 46, which is my level. I believe the maximum is 48 skill points that you can gain. So when you turn level 49 and level 50, I don't believe you get skill points. It kind of caps off there, but that's fine. I think 48 is more than enough to spend. So if we look at the skills, when you come in, that you'll see there are 7 columns and 7 rows. 6 rows, sorry, bad maths. 7 columns and 6 rows. The rows equate to your clubs. So the top row, all these skills are for your driver. Second row wood, third row hybrid, and so on. So depending on which club you feel like you need to add a bit of an advantage or a bit of aid to, that's where you'll look to put your skills. And then each column going down then will give you different skills depending on the column. So the first column you look at, these are classed as support skills. So they support kind of bad play. And the second column is momentum skills. So these reward good play. So if you're struggling with your game, you're hitting lots of bunkers, hitting lots of bad shots, hitting lots of rough, column 1 and every other support column, so that every other one, so column 1, 3 and 5 are your support columns. That's where you'll be spending your skill points. If you're a momentum player, if you're hitting fairways in regulation, if you're finding greens, you want to spend your skill points in column 2, 4 and 6, and you'll see that is where most of my points are spent, and we'll come on to that. So you have support is 1, 3 and 5, momentum is 2, 4 and 6. The final column, column 7, are passive skills. We'll come on to them, but essentially these skills are always on. So once you unlock this column, they will always be on. So if we start, when you come in, you'll see you'll have 1 skills point to spend, and you need to spend it in this first column. So pick whatever one you think will aid your game. If you've had a couple of rounds, just decide which club needs a bit of a boost. You can read through them. I'm not going to read through every skill in here. There's quite a lot of posters and things around, but I will just take you through. So let's say let's say you come in and you decide to activate the same hybrid one I have. This means normal shots receives a flight boost from the heavy rough. So activation. So when you're playing the game, this skill will turn on if I'm hitting into headwind of 15 mile per hour or greater. Now I picked this skill because the wind isn't really a negative play. I'm not hitting rough or anything, you know, and quite a lot in societies and other events and different tournaments and on career mode, if you're playing on the harder difficulty settings, you will be hitting into headwinds of 50 mile per hour or more. So you will get a flight boost. What a flight boost means is your carry distance. Yeah, so your clubs will hit it further. So I've got that unlocked at level 1 into 50 mile per hour. If I unlocked it, if I spent another skill point on it now, you can see the circle goes around. I'm not going to do it because I don't want level 2. But if I spend this, you hold this down to spend it, it goes round. One time round will be level 1. Hold it down again for the second time round, it'll be level 2. Level 2 would give me a flight boost into 10 mile per hour wind. And level 3 would give me a flight boost into a 5 mile per hour wind. So these skills can become quite, even at the easier settings, can give your clubs a little boost, depending on what you want to play them. So this column, before you can unlock the second column, you have to spend 4 skills points in this first column. You have no choice of that. You have to spend 4 to move on. You can see I have spent the minimum of 4 in this first column. I didn't want to spend any more time there just yet. I might revise my skills as I go along and play the game. but I just spent the 4 needed to open column 2, which is the momentum skills. Column 2, again, you have to spend another 4 between column 1 and 2. So this is important, guys. I don't have to spend another 4 in this column. If I want, I could have spent 8 in this column to unlock column 3. Yeah? So you can spend them where you want, and so on and so forth. So it's 8, 4 to get into this column, 8 to get into this column, 12 into this column, 6 into this column, 20 into this column, and then 24 to get into this column. You have to spend your skill points. But you can spend those 24 skill points to unlock the final column over any of these skills. It doesn't have to be equal, and you can see I've not spent it equal because I'm a momentum player. So you will see most of my skill points have been spent in column 2, 4, and 6. You can see I've maxed out some of these. So that's how you unlock each column. That's how you decide where you want to put your skills. My suggestion would be save up a few points, have a few rounds, and see where you're struggling. If you're struggling a lot to hit fairways or whatever, maybe come in here and get the swing path boost on your driver. So miss 3 fairways in regulation, you will get a swing path boost. These skills do not remain active constantly. This skill will deactivate when you hit a fairway. So they're not on that long, guys. In my honest opinion, a lot of these skills are superfluous and at best a little bit irritating to me. So as I play, I'm trying to decide if I want to keep any skills active. Possibly I might just come and keep this end column active, but at the minute it's getting a little bit annoying for me. So let me talk you through it. So I like to have short wedges with a good swing path and good timing, right? That's my character build. I'm playing a build that pretty similar to how I used to play in 2K21. I wasn't too fussed about distance on my wedges. Certainly I was on my driver, hence I'm putting them on a driver, but on my wedges I wasn't too fussed about distance. But the problem I have is I maxed out this one on my wedges. So I stupidly went to level 3 on this double major skill. Now normal shots receives a power boost from the fairway. This activates the minute you hit 4 fairways in regulation at level 1, 3 at level 2, and 2 at level 3. I hit fairways quite consistently, so by the second hole, all my wedges have received a power boost. And this isn't a little power boost, this is 7 odd yard power boost. My wedges are all of a sudden playing, well, I'll put it this way, my pitching wedge and my lob wedge, so my pitching wedge is classed as an iron randomly in this game. It's probably not a good example, but the pitching wedge and my gap or sand wedge, I can't remember which one, were playing exactly the same distance. It got that much of a boost. But it also threw my game, so I was 120 yards from the hole. I knew I had 120 yards wedge in my bag. I thought, great, let's pull the 120 yards wedge out, let's play this shot. I pulled up a 120 yard wedge and it was 130 yards. And at that point I'm like, oh crap. So I like to learn my bag. You may not even notice the yards differences. It's different for everyone. As I said, do your own thing. I went in, stupidly maxed all these out, thought yes, this is going to be amazing, I'll get more power while still got my timing and my swing path up high, but it's now just throwing my game slightly, and I'd prefer having a 90 yard wedge than a 90 yard pitch, just the way I am. So it is a little bit disconcerting when things change. This, however, this one is a brilliant one. Chip shots receive a timing boost within 26 yards of the pin. So if I land within 13 yards of the pin now at level 3, I get a timing boost. Perfect. I need that on. That's great. I don't mind boosts to my timing stats on my wedges, but it's the power ones on my wedges. So this is why I say take some time, have a read, see what favors your play. I thought having extra power would. I didn't realize how much extra power I'd get. Now on my driver, on the other hand, I'm happy. Tee and crush it. So I think my base power for my driver is 290. With this one maxed out, and this one maxed out, so that's hitting into a headwind of 5 miles per hour. And I think there's another one. No, it's just those two. So I've only got 2 on. Yeah, so just these 2. So a power boost off the tee, if I hit the carry distance of 275 yards or greater, that's when I get this activated. And it's important to know the difference here, and I'll talk you through the difference. So at level 2 on this one, the activation is score par or worse 2 times. So that's 2 times at all. So you can go par, birdie, par, and it'll deactivate. At the level 3, it has to be in a row, which people don't do that as often. So that's why I prefer that one for me. Anyway, back to what I was saying. If you put these 2 on, my 290 driver now, when these both activate, carries 303 yards. So that's a 13-yard boost with these 2 skills, which is massive, right? So it means then when I talked about transitions in another video, or I'm sorry, fitting in another video, you can actually don't need to focus so much on power because you can get them in the skills. They can be quite overpowered, weirdly. I think 13 yards is quite a lot for 6 skill points. Maybe that's just me. So whilst it's great up here, I'm finding a little bit detrimental down there. And this is just trial and error with these things, right? I don't put many skills in my woods and my hybrid. You can look, I just have 2 in the hybrid, because how often do you play those clubs, guys? I mean, I very rarely take out my wood or hybrid, and I don't need the boosts. You'll see I've got a lot in iron, wedges, putter, and quite a lot on my driver, because I play as a rhythm player and I want these max powered up. So again, depending on your archetype, depending on how you want to build your character, this is completely up to you. I'm just telling you how I've set mine up. The last bit I want to touch on in this video before I sign off today is on this column 7. These are passive skills. In other words, they are constantly on. Now this has caused a bit of confusion, and it's still causing confusion, and it's why I'm saving up my skill points. So if you read what it says here on the driver skill, normal shops receive a transition. So if you looked at my fittings and archetype, you'll know you have transition, which is your distance control really at level 1, a swing path, which is your swing plane at level 2, or a timing at level 3. Now it says or, so transition, swing path, or. So this indicates that you have to pick between the 3. So at the minute you'll see I've just picked transition for these 3. Now I did a little experiment on my putter. So at first I just wanted, I put on the roll one. So level 1 on your putter is a roll boost. Now rather stupidly in the skills, any roll boosts makes the greens faster. So I would tell you right now, avoid any of these that give you a roll boost, because hence that one's not on. So I don't want faster greens. I don't know if you guys have played on the greens, but once you get on the greens, you'll notice the ball rolls like mad anyway. So I thought, oh shit, let's turn off that roll boost. I noticed my 155 greens turned to 159. So it sped them up by 4, whatever that means in the game's memory. So I went straight to put on level 2, which is your putt weight. And I thought, right, let's see if that turns off the level 1 skill. It did not. So it looks like they might stack. Or I completely imagined it and my green speeds didn't change speed. So then I went out to level 3. So my third test then on the skills, and this comes to my final point I want to close on. I thought, right, okay, I know I've got to putt weight. So I looked at my skills, I looked at my character, I looked at my build, I checked what my putt path is, my swing plane, so that's the 3rd skill. I put this skill on, and nowhere on your My Player, on your clubs, does it tell you the impact of any of these skills. So the only ones I can tell you for certain that have big impacts are the flight ones, because you can see that when they switch on in the game. When the other skills switch on in the game, you can't see what impact they're having on transition or on swing path or on putt weight. You just can't see it. So there's no way to know. So whilst I got all 3 on this one, I'm waiting for someone to come out and say, yes, these stack, or no, they don't, before I move off transition, because I kind of want the transition boost at the minute, because my timing and my swing path are pretty high in my stats as a rhythm golfer. Again, if transition's already high for you, say as you play as a power player, you may want to put on timing or swing path. Your choice. But until someone tells me if these stack or not, I won't be maxing these out as yet. And hence I'm saving up my skill points, which is why I got 5 remaining. So that's it, guys. That's just a quick one on skills. Hopefully you found some useful hints and tips in there. You might choose to swerve this section altogether, and to be fair, I don't think it's going to have a massive detriment to you. I think fittings are far superior in terms of building out your character and seeing the effect they have. These, to me, get a little bit annoying at times when I know clubs change. So yeah, Completely your choice. And also, guys, just one final piece: you can reset your skills, but it does cost you £500. So if you hold down triangle, all your skill points will come off, and you can start again. But you can't take them off any other way. Anyway, right, that's me done. Have a great week, and I'll catch you all soon.